Hello there, this is Michael. I'm going to walk through my touchdesigner network for evolution and show kind of how it's set up. So I'm going to start by just showing the control display. So there's a couple main parts here. Here's kind of an output window to see visualize what's happening, and this also acts as a control if I want to move this flock around. I have a master fade out here, and this tells me the coordinates of the flocking position. Over here we have the ability to record cues, so I can aim them, change them, and that will record these parameters. And when I do that, I can reload them as cues so that I can kind of see them, these parameters change over here. So during tech rehearsal, I used a MIDI keyboard to adjust these parameters, save them out, and then reloaded them. And here, this is the information from the Vive tracker, which is currently not tracking. And here it's black right now, but it would show the pattern that would be sent to our prop. So I'll go back into the network and kind of show how it's set up. So this is our very top level. If we dive into there, we have our two displays, our RP and our scrim displays, both using the stoner tool to keystone them correctly. And then in here we have our control container, which is where the bulk of the program is happening. So there's a couple main sections. This up here is kind of the main video section. This flocking system is actually being spouted in from Unity, and we're controlling the flock over OSC. And we composite it with the color to give it some color variation. What's going on over here? And then inside of this Tox effects container, we have all the different effects we have in our thing, and these are loaded. These are loaded in, and then sent through a switch. So I have a folder with different toxes, so those are loaded in. I actually send them through two so that we can double up effects and create more interesting patterns and stuff. And each of these takes in a parameter so that their effects can be manipulated. That's sent over here. Here's like the master fade out. And here we have our display to control where it's going, and that puts out values over here. And so I'll come over here. Over here we have our data input, so this is all the data we have coming in. So this is where our buttons are, our MIDI data that's coming in, and the Vive tracking data are all organized in here. Just look at this real quick. It's just a replicator, and there's a bunch of TSV files that are generated that are loaded in, and then depending on which one is clicked, it'll switch here, and then it gets brought out. And then the way we have it set up is I have a bunch of parameters, each just constants, that are controlling different things, like the color source, the flock group, the flock speed, the distance the flock goes apart from each other. So all these parameters can be adjusted, and the reason they're separated like this is so that they can be controlled by these chop executes over here, these different parameters. So if, for example, this table gets clicked on, it has all these different values which get mapped to those parameters. But I can also use the MIDI keyboard to adjust it, so everything's connected to these, but I can affect those from different locations. And to save it out, I merge them all together, and then in the data output we have a couple things going on. We got the OSC information going to Unity about the flocking and its position, that all happens in there. And then we also have this the controlling of the LED. So we give it these coordinates and then plug in the LED output to it. And the last thing we have in here is the ability to record the cues. So we have that information that we got from out there, and it puts it into this formatting where we can see what they're all named. And then when we hit record cue, it'll write that file out, and it'll name it based on these fields. And then that gets loaded in so we can have those cues saved out. So yeah, that's the general layout. This goes out and then fills these windows that we've already seen. So that is the basic structure of how my project is set up.